Christian Kelly, accepted, triple denim. So look, today's drive was really good, thanks. Sorry for the hay truck. Could have been worse, could have been a cattle truck. 4 bladders. That could have been interesting. And sorry for getting, I knew that they closed that road, Peel Street here at 5-2. So I knew if we could get through the fire truck that was parked across the road, once we got through that roundabout and turned right, that there'd be some people going. Kids going, Daddy, Mummy. And then blokes with baseball caps and tattoos just leave going. Or using the terminology that I hate with a passion, old school. You haven't heard of, pretty much. So, but no, nice drive out there, and it's look, thank heavens to Jock, who we were just talking about earlier. I wanted him to actually get here this afternoon, but he got caught at Walker talking to a policeman about other stuff because they're all related. And he was good to have at the tail at the end because he was able to help people who, unfortunately, breaking-wise, went to Nundle, turned around, and like most things, you drive these roads and then they do, road works sort of 10 days out from when you do it. And I don't know, Alf, is your car is it bloody shit on it or dirt, or was it just dirt or mud on your car?
He pulled over.
Oh, it's on the side, right.
That's mine. Was good.
Oh, I just thought it was bloody like dirt and stuff.
That's mine.
Graham's
Mine is.
Graham.
Yeah, there's a couple. Anyway, I just thought cow packs or something, someone had a dairy cow go across the road on purpose.
I'm not that.
So anyway, but for those of you that went to obviously Walker, and that was timed beautifully for those that were early with the street closure. Everyone found the pub up the top or the cafes to the right. Then obviously, as you may have seen, Bendemeer, lucky we didn't go there because it was busy, the Bendemeer pub, but it's a lovely spot. And then heading back down the range back to Tamworth. So we've been pretty blessed with weather. It's always been that case to try and organise things to do it during nice times of the year. So I really do appreciate everyone being involved and coming, getting involved in these sort of things because it's an effort from everyone's point of view. It's trying to organise for those that are still working holidays and then managing their own businesses or trying to get some pleadings and then trying to get away maybe from family for positive and negative reasons can be the way. And we certainly acknowledge everyone that goes the extra yard to do these sort of things because, as I said to you the other day, you only get out what you put in. So I really appreciate the fact that gets involved. So what I'd like to do now is just hand out some participation awards that basically are presented to everyone that's here, separate to the awards for the cars that were judged. And then of course we have a few awards called the Spirit of the Nationals, and also the longest distance driven and the longest distance travelled. And the penultimate award is the Leo Purnell Award of Excellence. It's for the vehicle that, out of all the vehicles that we judged, received the most points. And over the last few years, the first event we had at the Barossa, we had a guy called Ted, who's quite well known to a few Brisbane guys. He was a one-owner, a lovely silver LJ that I know he's sold since, but it was a spectacular car. It still had original tyres. It was ridiculous, that car. Although his wife was an interesting specimen. But do you remember? She was a lovely lady. So we had that car win that award, the award for excellence in the Barossa. Then the Sunshine Coast.
Yep.
Who was it? Sunshine Coast.
Chris Belton.
Who the award for excellence, the highest points car. As my memory should be worse, but bad. It was the Vidoro Green LC GTR of Dave and Vicky pulling. So, and that car had been to the Barossa as well, and it was beaten by 6.5. So the variation in that shows the continuity through that. Normally we have a couple of strange characters called Dame Nicholas and Scott Hudson judging stuff, and they're ably helped by Messrs McConkie and Martin sometimes to look at the finer points of things. Then we moved to Phillip Island, where we had a car that came from Western Australia, which was in fact a Tirana S, replicated as a GTR, and that won that award, which is really what it does is it encompasses, no matter what your car is, where it comes from, its heritage and background and pedigree, if it presents well, and it's what it is, it's amazing what 3 pieces of tin metal can do to change a car's value and what it is. So Martin Sibley won that award, and he was from Western Australia. So that is the penultimate award. From my point of view, I'm trying to get the cars to a level that we're so far behind the GT blokes that we knock around with. But at the end of the day, as you know, they've all gone ridiculous through the roof. I say they're overpriced, but that's because I own them. If I was trying to get into the market, I'd hate to try. I've had that discussion over the weekend with so many people who are real car people but will never be able to afford, you know, a car. Hence, like people like Phil Walmsley who sold their genuine car and bought a replica. But that's Phil.
Thank you.
As well. so I'm just going to hand out his participation, which is no order at all. But I really do appreciate that. And I just want to acknowledge a few people. First up, a chap who's new to the event, and he bought a car that obviously there's not many of them around, and if they are, there aren't many that are in pretty good condition. And his car is a rare bird because of obviously its interior. So Adam Pearce, could you please come forward and receive this award as part of participating in the event. So first time out for Adam, and I really do appreciate him. So I spoke to Adam as a lead up, and he'd ended sort of last year. And then obviously with COVID, you know, he recontacted me about probably a month ago, and got the fever again, and said, "Oh, is it still on?" Yeah, I said yes, and he goes, and then it was what, about 20 minutes later, he says, "Have I already paid?" "Yes, you have." "I'm coming." So I really do appreciate Adam for coming on with that car. So it is great to see a nutmeg metallic car, particularly with that 41X or F interior. As it is, so presented as an XU1 as he bought it. And look, long term, I'll give you the drum that we work more as a GTR son. But the easy thing with those, particularly the LJs, is, you know, it's a change the boot, complete boot and stickers, but then you've got to look at clear coat as we've spoken about, you know, worrying about that. So I do appreciate that. Another bloke, and this is a black and white, it's Anthony Mundine special, but this bloke and his family have supported the event from the start. And met his brother last night, who's probably, is he the chosen one? I'm not sure. But Jason Ashcroft, if you could come forward. Just there's a few of these awards actually in black and white, and what that comes back to is black and silver. Sorry. What happened, Adam? A few of you will find that is when you're doing these things, you pre-print a lot of the awards. So, for example, the cars that were getting judged, I print out gold, silver, and bronze. And when you come to the event, you tear off a silver or a bronze and you put in a gold, or whatever happens. And with a couple of the cars, we had to change at the last minute. So you get that done, you go to the office and you plead with them, can you print it out? They print it out, they don't have a colour printer. So all that sort of stuff comes into your head. So I will send those people colour copies. Now, this bloke has a bit of history. His brother I've known for a while, but this bloke turned up and, I don't know, he drove down the highway and had a pretty good weekend. Tried to steal his wiper washer bottle and his lid cap for a bloke with an LC GTR because it probably would go pretty good. But Des Pearce, could you come forward please and receive this award? I'm sure that little thing it's worth $100, but no pressure. No. Thanks. Now, this chap and his wife have always been involved in the events we've done over the years. His bride, his younger partner, based down in the Hunter Valley, and I think he just enjoys getting away from what he does. He's looking younger as he gets older. So Dave McRory, would you come forward and receive this award? Yeah, you're right, Dave. Good chair. So Dave and Laurel, Laurel's on a fitness campaign. She's, what's the caring thing where as she's getting older, she's getting younger? Weird. So Dave, you think about now this chap is interesting because in the last probably 2 years, he's always wanted to, but he bought a really an old other branded vehicle and really enjoyed it because I did a thing at Bathurst, and then he bought a new one and he really enjoys driving it fast up hills and down and around things. But it's pink and it's a well-known car, so Rick Yates, you come forward. So Rick goes, all right, Yvonne's probably the better driver, but
She did all right today.
I'm going to do it pink, but you know what they say about blokes in pink. I'm just asking, I don't know. Righto. It was good to have this chap involved. When we did an event up on the Sunshine Coast, we went to this bloke's place, not a bad little dig. Famous concert there once. I have some issues with midnight oil, but look, we went to this chap's place and his wife put on a great spread for breakfast before we went to the skip pan outside Gympie. So Gary actually was the last one to enter. He rang me Monday night, Tuesday night, says, "Ty, the in-laws aren't coming, I've got a fucking leave pass." So Gary Barrett, would you please come forward? Gary, I normally stay at his place at Karoi, lovely spot, but now he's got all the relatives staying there because it's good accommodation while they save up for their own place. So we appreciate it. Lovely stuff. Thanks, Gary.
That's beautiful.
Now, this chap, look, he's got a couple of cars. It was noted to me today that he probably had a couple more cars that his wife didn't know about, but that probably sometimes happens. He already pretty knows who he is, and his wife's probably looking at him. No pressure. But they've got some great cars and over the years won some awards, and for this particular event it's just a case of bringing a car along. Doesn't need it to be judged because he knows it's already been there. So Mr. David Pulling, would you come forward for Thank you. Now, this bloke, he nearly died on us a few years ago, truthfully. And straight away he knows who he is, and his son knows who he is. And Pete's one of these blokes who's been around the cars a long, long time. He has history with the motor car. He's very proud of the heritage he has with the car, along with his wife Gail. And he's always out involved in things. He received, I think, a silver award or a gold award a couple of years ago for the car. Yeah. So it's a beautiful car. It's fairly well known, its history. It's a Newcastle McLeod Kelso Lee car for brand new, but a wonderful car. And it's fantastic that Peter, who still does a bit of karting, I believe, probably run people off the track, but that's okay. It's like Bob Holden in a mini. But Peter Steele, stay there, son. I'll come over to you. So Steely, as he's known, has been around. Now we had a bit of a run of orange cars because we had obviously Jock, the local guy with Lone Ranger, and Peter and Ronnie Pond is here, and they're pretty common. They're like diesel Geminis. Or the Sandpipers, or the ZZZ cars. But this chap, he had a fantastic sticker on the back bumper of his car in February. And he took it off, which was a great shame because he believed he did a recent tour of Tasmania, and with his car he had going forward is the going thing on the bumper. He quickly took that off, so Mel Knight. Mel's the tall, silent type, and his wife, who really loves particular places. It's all about her anyway, because she owns everything. Thank you. He's like me. Now, this is an interesting award because this bloke went through some trials and tribulations a couple of years ago and around Australia, and it's the only car here, so you already pretty much know who it is. Look, he's actually been quite an inspiration to do what he did when we did this trip around Australia, and he went through a few processes and was able to finish it. And hasn't washed the car, so you should guess who that car is. Still a bit dirty, but that's about the character of the things. He has picked up a number of awards this weekend that physically he will never receive. But mentally he has received.
I'm robbed.
Sorry, not talking about you, Martin. I was talking about So, look, Martin Vaughan, please come. So yeah, Martin's, I actually came across Martin years ago through Victoria and through Shannon's, and then I actually sold him an LC GTR and Daytona Bronze with a 253 in it. God strike me dead, with the original motor, and that's now moved on. But you know, Martin, out of the blue, sort of entered this Repco trial, and then got the fever, and then met up with this Yank guy through connections, and they did this thing, and then his wife met him in Darwin, and could not get her out of the driver's seat. Just loved it. So I really do appreciate you coming up and getting involved and showing things that, at the end of the day, it's nice to have them shiny, but sometimes the character of the motorcade also pulls through. That's for sure. Speaking of characters, this bloke probably is an inspiration to me, along with Rod Martin and people like Kim McConkie and Peter Tooth. They're inspirational people to me, and that's the reason I probably do these events, because I've been able to meet these people over so many years and keep in touch with them. So this bloke, as you probably know, I sat in the passenger side with him today, a bit nervous, up through the cutting, probably thought it was another cutting somewhere else at another racetrack. But he always travels a distance and goes away, so Gavin Keel. So Gavin, you know, he travels around the place, doesn't mind it. He's just bought himself a beautiful R-Spec Mustang. He can get in but can't get out, but goes good. Now this bloke, his time management skills are interesting. A couple of people probably already know what I'm talking about. But he's probably always at things because he enjoys the social aspect. The cars, for him, like many, are a background, but he loves talking about the cars and the history. He's got some good history in what he does. So I guess for this chap, he gets along to things, and thank heavens for a couple of other couples that motivate him to get him to where he's got to go, like today, for example. So Douglas Hughes. So Dougie, Doug does what he does in his own space. I'm used to it. I still have any money. But look, now, this next chap, he actually won't receive this award. That's because his daughter pretty much does a lot of stuff behind the scenes, like you would have seen today when you went up through the staircase, through the cutting. I don't need to, well, actually announce who it is, but Georgia, she's already Thanks, G. No, thank you. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Georgia. Thanks also, Lisa. So Georgia is the younger, older of younger of young Joshy, who's normally here. He's been in the past with his little four-door green car, and look, Josh has some processes in his life that he goes through. So it's important that a lot of people know Josh, and we try and keep him on the positive road of things. And you know, like all things in life, we try and keep positive and have a positive influence in your life. So a number of you here, ladies and men, you know, help him out to try and get him through things. So we wish Josh the, you know, it's always going to be a struggle for Josh, but he's going to keep doing what he needs to do. He's mad on trains, absolute lunatic on trains. Like, we like cars, he likes trains, and he does know it. Now, this young lady, she puts up with her husband, probably puts up with me too. But at the end of the day, it's just fantastic to have Shan. Sean, come on up. I'm only teasing. Chantel McConkey. Thank you. Look, Sean and Kim are long-term people that I met first in 2001 at Shannon's in Melbourne, and they've always been involved in what we do over the years. And next year when we do this around Australia, these crazy critters are taking both cars. They're going to take their own, well, one of their own, and then they've got another couple of chaps, Steve Jacksetic and Bruce. Yeah, to drive the other car. So.
No. Kim's in his.
Kim's
I'm
in
in
yours.
mine.
You're in yours. Sorry.
We don't travel
We
well
don't
together.
travel.
They don't travel together. What a great relationship that is. Note to self. Now, this bloke, he's turned up over the years in a myriad of cars. And when you say GTR and actually won National Owners Meeting, this bloke would turn up in a Prince Skyline with flutes. You just don't know. But this year, I had a chat to him and said, "Oh, it's probably not what I'm about, but you know, we all have issues." So Mel Griffin, could you come forward? So Mel's. I just realised Griffen.
Yes.
I owe you another plaque. I'll take that one. Thanks, Mel, man. Thank you. Yeah, look, Mel turns up with a V8, you know, in the car, and then, you know, it's like, geez, how am I going to sort through the riffraff of this? Because you do, unfortunately, you do actually cop criticism. After the event, you'll get some social media pieces of shit. Who, how come you had a V8 there? It's like, well, he's display only, and he has got history, and he's actually a positive more than a negative, which is what you are, so delete. You know, so it's the way it is, but you've got to put up with it. Speaking about positive influences, this chap turned up, he went the long way. He left just on 3 months ago. Went to a myriad of towns, caught up, tried most of the Chinese restaurants and most of the best wine bars in these regions of southeastern Australia. But he made it with beautiful door trims and everything. So, Chris Kelly, would you please come forward and receive you? Well, sorry, 3 months. Sorry, this is what the time. 3 days. 3 days. 3 days. And a 3-day growth. You could have sung that. Well, this next gentleman needs no introduction.
Oh, don't.
Mr. Kimpton McConkey, please. Is the epitome of faulty / life of Kim. Thank you very much.
Now, you may wonder just what is the average weight of an African elephant?
I haven't thought about that yet. Elephant, how much does it weigh?
Yeah, that's the one. Some people know this joke.
Now, under light soon, but this next chap, many of you know, I first met in 2004. It was about this time, and we had a massive function at the now Holden, or the old Holden Performance Driving Complex at Norwell. We did our Run Nationals there at Easter. The forecast was going to be pouring rain, and the weather was pretty much like this over the Easter break. We had Bob Morris reunited with his car, and he's certainly still fitted into. We had the Bowdens, we had Mark Oastler, we had a bloke called Harry Frith. He was there talking nonsense. But you know, when you have a function under a marquee, lighting's ordinary. And Kevin's, we were younger then. And you've got all these bottles of wine, and you've got no bottle opener. This chap arrives out of the wilderness. So Ronnie Pond, would you? Love your boots. I have a saying for that, but I can't say it in front of ladies. Thank you. Yes, I did hear that. Now, look, this bloke's got his own corporate suite this evening. Pretty rare actually to come to a function like this and have your own suite and set up your chairs and table and food, but he always does well, and his wife probably does even better. So Peter Davis, the one owner chap from Brisbane, would you bring your, oh no, you're going to come forward, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Peter would like to thank the, being able to export himself from the UK back in the heady days to come to Australia. What, 1967? No, 68, that's right. And then he meets his wife who lives one street over the back. The rest is history. Loving Redcliffe. I did too much research. Now, so these are just the participation awards. Yeah, look, this bloke's just a gem of a bloke. He supports the same rugby league team I do, thank heavens. Who I don't want to look at the score because they're playing some Sydney blokes. But he's got two young lads who I admire greatly because they're doing more than what my son is, but that's a whole other story. But no, look, they come from the Shire. She's known as the Queen of the Shire.
Is she here?
And does good things, and probably speaks to her wife, and is probably messaging her now to say your husband's a dick, which is one of her favourite words. Graham Brown, would you come forward please? Thank you, I really appreciate it. Now, so what we've got now are so these are gold, silver and bronze awards. And the judging system is the same it's always been. I use the same point system as such. So, without any particular order, there were no bronze awards this year. There were silver and gold awards for the event. So I've just decided to keep it that way. So first silver award goes to a car that it has actually changed. When it first received this award, it was on the lower edge of silver. It's now touching gold, so it's not far away from gold. And with a bit of pressure, no love lost, if he does go around Australia, it might get a gold. No pressure next time. But Kenny Garcia, you come forward. It's gone from, for example, out of 695, it's actually gone now from 410 to 535. So there's a variation in that over the years. And I notice it with my memory, the car, how it changes. Now, this next chap I met 20 years ago, and it's good that he's still around, thank heavens, because he has history with the cars and he enjoys the cars. So it was fantastic that through, I guess, a chap called Steve Rule, who's also here, he was able to get all these pieces of bloody riff-raff together and get them down the highway and get them down the road. This particular car is an export car, and it's got some variations in it, and strange enough, being a New Zealand car and me being born in New Zealand, it's got no Maori tattoos on it, thank heavens. But it's probably been raced around Bay Park or Pukekohe somewhere in its life. So a silver award this year, first time to the event and first time being judged. So John Atkinson. So Acco's been around the cars a long time, and I actually had a couple of people look at John's car after I'd looked to it, and primarily it was just, like most of these things, I'm only a young bloke, but I also take on a lead and words from chaps that bought the cars new and have also gone through both processes of owning them for a longer time and restoring them, and as we all have, going through that, so to look at finer points of things. So yeah, not that far away. Now, another car previously received the bronze award, but I've noticed, obviously looking at the car over the last couple of days, it's stepped up in class, and there's just minor things, and again, touching gold, but it's the little bits, it's the devil in the detail that is the variation in the car. So first met this couple at Tirana Fest 4 years ago, and it's a beautiful little car, and it's cruises along the highway at 85 k's today. Does a great job. So Neville Lynn, you already know who I'm talking about. So, yeah, put the lights on. I think they are. Are they here or are they somewhere else? Very good. Oh, it's you, Neville. Oh, shit. On the wall. So, are we going to get the side shot? This could be one of those shots where you go, geez, look at the triple chin on the fat bloke. No, I'm talking about me. Righto. Now we move to another silver award. Interesting because this car actually received another award when it was presented some years ago, and it's had some changes since. And the bloke probably knows straight away who I'm talking about. But it's no pardon the pun. He's got massive history in the car, and his wife are always involved in what we do. And they come from a little hamlet just north of Melbourne, and it's not a bad place to hang out sometimes. Got a lot of parts in stock, so if ever you need parts, he's always available to sell them to you at a reasonable price. So Rod Martin, would you please come forward? I actually had a couple of other chaps look at this car just to confer what was conferring. So if there's any issues, take it up with them. Because you know who they are. Thanks, Rod. Thank you, mate. Righto. Already mentioned this bloke. First met him it'd be 8-9 years ago, and he's taken over a group of middle-aged enthusiasts north of the border here, and trying to get them out a bit more and trying to create some connectivity to the brand, particularly in Brisbane, in the southeast corner, in Queensland. But fantastic motor car. I think it's on the TV tonight or tomorrow night, with my ugly head looking at its owner's manual and its original number plates and its history. So an unrestored car, and it's got great history. So Steve Rule, would you please accept the silver award? It's very interesting when you try and judge an unrestored car, gold and silver. It's basically a variation of 22 points, and it's just the little things that don't get done to. Okay. Righto. Next award is a silver, and this car it's pretty consistent in how it's presented. Its colour is well known. It's lime green, so this bloke already knows who he is. And, it's just a really, really, really nice car, and it touches the gold. It's not far away at all. So Alfie Strano, please come forward. It's not far away. All right, thank you very much. Good, Al. Did you get